is with Joan's help for the individual sessions and with my instructions as well to help you get cleaner foods or things that are more appropriate for you and appropriate for detox, and liver support can also be used. Joan is good at that too.
Well, I did that. I did the AET, and it didn't work.
Mm.
So you may need more foundational help.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I go to the farmer's market
That's good.
up the street on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
So there are sometimes things that, you know, we've been
And
exposed to that we have to work even harder to get rid of, to do actual
and
techniques and
I
things.
don't tolerate any
Supplements,
yeah.
yeah. That's why food works, and there may be some specific foods that can help you directly, or maybe you're eating the right foods, but you're not eating enough of certain ones and too much of others. So it can be a balancing act.
Well, I would like to talk with you one-on-one.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm available in my car.
So the first step, if you're interested in this optimal wellness program, would be to schedule an appointment with me for an initial consultation, which would be an hour. And that's one that I'd like you to bring your support person with you if you'd like to do that, so that that person can understand what it is that you're getting into with this program. And in that hour, we do two things, a couple things anyway, three things. One is a wellness evaluation. When you sign up and pay your fee for the initial consultation, Christy will then give you some paperwork to take home and fill out. And there's a lot of paperwork. I ask a lot of questions, more than perhaps you're used to get a really full picture of what's going on. And then, so we determine whether or not I can help you. That's the first question. And if you think that it's a go, then I go ahead with a very brief NAET examination of those basic nutrients and see if you're absorbing your nutrients sufficiently. Because if you've had a trauma with that carrot, you know, then you'll be deficient in vitamin A as well as allergic to it. And then there's this procedure that Dr. Debbie invented for changing changing your cheese mind about that carrot, about vitamin A. So that then you can utilize vitamin A and help heal the gut, because without vitamin A, skin and internal organs don't heal. So I want you to come out at the end of 3 months well, you know, and so I'm going to put everything I can into your getting there. So then with the brief exam, then we go to a plan of action and determine what level of care you're going to need for this next 3 months. Some people have mild symptoms and they don't have any nutrient problems, and others have more severe cases and they've been working at it for more years, and so they would take more intense and maybe longer program. So everyone wants to know what the cost is, so this is the discussion on that. The financial investment would be anywhere between $3,000 and $3,500 for that 3-month program. And I must say that there was, when I was developing this last year, there was one of my patients going through the program, but on an individual basis. And when she learned that I was putting this program together for a mere $3,200, she said, "Oh, I paid twice that, and it took me a whole year. And you're doing this in 3 months. You know, what's this about?" So she was a little miffed, but I got that information from her that it really is cost effective to do it in a shorter term. And you get better results if you're going to be long-term healthy going forward.
The other aspect of the program is you're coming in every week for those 3 months, is that right?
No, not quite.
Not quite, but
Yeah.
more frequently, more regularly.
Yeah.
So it's a consistent increase in your attention to health.
Sherry?
That's my question. I don't quite understand the program. So it's 3 months and we meet 3 times with you and then we're meeting.
And 4 times in classes.
So 4 classes.
And we have a sheet out here with
Schedule?
that summary on it, and the schedule, and like that.
So yeah, means we have some individual sessions, some group classes, yeah, and some group classes, and then mentorship stuff,
Mentoring
and some like group support groups that we haven't thought about yet, but
Yeah,
we will
pass those
create.
out, Christy, thank you.
So the mentoring is on an as-needed basis where you just call you, or, I mean, I'm just trying to understand how it works.
Yeah, there are individual consults on the phone for, at the drop of a hat. Typically what we do with that is that when someone has a question about their particular situation, they'll call us Christy, she'll take down your question. If she can't answer it, then she gets me between patients in my schedule, and I'll jot down an answer, or I'll say, schedule this for me to talk with her at the end of my day, and I'll get back to you personally. But if it's a quick question, then I can, like, what's my dosage on such and such? We can figure that out quickly.
And if you can't progress at the speed with which everyone else progresses, I have a very slow detox system, then do you get left behind? I mean, do you have to take your supplements and your stuff on a certain schedule, or can you go at a slower pace, or?
You can go at whatever pace works. So I do the muscle testing and get in the ballpark. And then it's your response to these things that we're monitoring and talking about. So that's why the individual
Just
phone
call
consults
this,
are
like what I'm
important.
doing is holding her, whoever talks, I just rotate it.
Some people have SIBO, for instance, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. And that's a much bigger problem, it turns out, than merely leaky gut or merely an ileocecal
IBS
valve
or
that's
something.
not working. And so there are different things, and then of course each of us heals at a different pace. So all of that's taken into account. We're not asking each person in the class to go through a regimen. We're each going through it individually, on your own plan. Does that help?
Yeah, it's part of that individualized plan in that first session.
Yeah, it's individualized totally. And there are a group of supplements that I would test everyone in the class on, or everyone in the program. And that's in the initial appointment, the exam, part of the exam. And don't let me forget to talk about Beamer too.
Yeah.
And if any of those things in muscle testing doesn't do well with you, I take it out. You're not going to use that until we can do an NAET on it and get it back into your, if I choose to do that.
If you still
get
need it.
back in. Yeah, if you still need it, you may not need it. So I pick and choose among the supplements as to which ones you need. There may be some that another part of the exam is for you to bring in your supplements and foods that you may question. And we'll muscle test them and see if they're working for you. So we can individualize it quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Sue?
Yeah.
Just, yeah. And so at the end of the 3 months, the people who have had this bacterial overgrowth in their small intestine may not be totally free of their symptoms, or very often they are, but when they start adding in the foods that they have taken out during a cleanse, when they start adding those foods back in, they may get a problem. So then we teach you how to deal with that. We teach you how to determine what your symptoms are and what length of time you need to use the food in order to really stress your immune system if it's going to be stressed. Get a symptom and say, okay, that's on my no list. So you're learning about how to handle foods going forward, and supplements, should you use those, and drugs, I should say.
So there's a cleanse involved too, you're saying?
Yes, there's
We
the
call,
cleanse.
it's not in those technical terms, not
Right.
the typical way people think of a cleanse. Our idea of a cleanse is avoiding a lot of the processed foods that typically contain so many chemicals that just by avoiding them, it gives your body the room and the opportunity and the energy to do its natural cleansing routine. So as we live longer, we've experienced more and more toxins, we've been exposed to more and more things, and it may take longer if we're older or if we've been more exposed. I certainly had quite a lot of exposures to various things. So you know, my liver still struggles sometimes with dealing with certain things, but I know if I avoid them and drink enough water and do enough exercise and eat enough green leafy vegetables, that I find I really do feel much, much better, even when I have another, you know, exposure or another stressor that causes that. So it's a learning process, but it really does help you understand, you know, and get into your own cells that, you know, this is what I need to do to have vibrant health. It does happen, and I'm a living example of, I was so sick, I would not have been able to stand here for this long, first of all. I weighed 100 pounds. I'm 5'5" and a half, so it's like I was a tiny bit of myself. I had no muscle support. I was so cold all the time because I had no body fat. Everything I ate went right through me. And it was just, you know, you couldn't get any, I couldn't do anything. I don't know how I kept working, but I did. That's part of that determination. But I knew that I needed to get better. I knew that I had to change things. And I was seriously determined to heal. And I was very, very lucky to have acupuncture, Joan, and my partner who really stepped up. And I was, you know, in bad shape, and it was pretty scary, you know. So sometimes you have to face that kind of level of disaster before you're willing to make changes. Because I'm a stubborn person too, you know. I like my things. You know, this is perfectly good brown rice. What is wrong? Well, for me, brown rice was not the thing. And of course, all the toxins I experienced in the laboratories had accumulated. A lot of those things don't get out unless you really work at getting them out. So there may be that form of cleansing is what we're talking about, not overloading the liver system, the detox systems, and making sure the avenues of elimination are working properly, not improperly. So yeah, and you know, at some level, you know, I may plateau at some level, but I still feel like I'm getting healthier.
Another piece about detoxification is the physical vascular therapy that we use here. And that's a part of the program as well. We give you 5 sessions over that 3-month period of time so that you can try it out and see if this is going to help you with your detox. And that's a German technology that is primarily studied through the blood system, because it was a doctor at the Institute of Microcirculation who first discovered this technology and then did studies on it and promoted it. So most of the research is done in the blood department, because that was his department, what he was studying his whole life. And so we know a lot about the effect on the immune system of this device, which is called BEMER, B-E-M-E-R. And we'd like for you in this program to experience what that's like. It's very gentle. It doesn't, unless you're allergic to it, which I check in the exam to make sure that you're not going to react to it, or to your exudate, I call it, what it is that you're putting off in each cell is containing the toxins, the waste products of the cell are going into the blood, and you may react to that when you do a detox with the BEMER. So I check that before you even start and make sure that that's safe, and then along the way as well, because we can get into trouble by detoxing too fast, and that can upset everything.
Yeah.
So that's another part of the system.
Yeah, one of the things I mentioned is, you know, digestion's important, absorption's important, but then those nutrients have to get to each cell. And that's what the BEMER helps with, is it vascularizes. Because, you know, capillaries are very, very tiny. A single red blood cell has to kind of fold itself to get through capillaries. So there are times, and each capillary, each blood vessel is surrounded by muscles. When we are stressed, a lot of those muscles clamp down and shut off circulation. So have you ever noticed when you're stressed, your hands and feet are cold?
Yeah,
Or your mouth is dry?
yep.
That's those vascular systems clumping down and saying, you're going to need your blood for your big muscles and your legs and your arms to run from the danger or to fight somebody. So if you don't want to bleed to death if you cut your hand in that fight, so it's closing down the vascular systems in our extremities and saving it for the big thing. It's also closing down the vascular systems for your digestive system. So your liver and detox is closed down when you're under stress. So one of the major things we want to help people with is learn to manage the stressors in their lives. What Rope did when she first started this class was a way to calm and relax and get your blood circulating everywhere so that your body felt more grounded, more stable.
So is this why when people aren't sleeping well, those processes are not happening in terms of detox,
Possibly.
all that? Is it sleep related?
It can it definitely can affect sleep.
Or does
Absolutely.
this stuff happen 24/7?
The hormonal, well, it's, your body changes in nighttime sleep versus daytime activities. And depending on, if you're very active, you have different circulation than when if you're sitting down. So there's variations in that, and how much circulation occurs. The beamer helps to normalize. One of the things I have a beamer at home. I turn it on right before I go to sleep. And it allows my circulation to kind of normalize so all the cells can get nourished, and then they can detox and they can grow and do all the things they need to do. So that's one aspect of it. When we are asleep, the reason we are asleep has to do with hormones and neurotransmitters. So those things, we have to have the nourishment to make them, and then we have to have the ability to secrete them. The pineal gland actually secretes the melatonin, but it won't do that if you haven't had sunlight during the day, so that's another lifestyle thing. So there's all these techniques that people used to, did you have to, oh, I better go outside because I need melatonin? No, people just did it. They worked outside, they even lived outside. Now we're all indoors and it's dark, and you know our climate environment is very dark and cloudy almost all year. We have the fog in the summer and the rain in the winter. So, you know, going outdoors and exposing our skin for vitamin D production is not happening for most of us. So almost everyone's vitamin D deficient. The darker your skin, the more vitamin D deficient you're likely to be. So these are the differences that occur now in our own conditions compared to 40 years ago, 60 years ago. Well, maybe for some of us even 15, 10, 20 years ago. So exposures in the workplace to molds or to chemicals or to other things can seriously affect the hormonal systems, the endocrine systems, the things that help you to sleep, or the things that help you get up, or your thyroid, or all these kinds of things. So we have to do what we can, we have to learn what we can, and with this program and the individualized sessions and Joan's help, I think together it's going to be something that you'll find improvement, and you'll also learn how to look at your own symptoms more carefully and figure out things for yourself. What we want, I want to not have a job. I really want to be out of a job because I want everyone to be so healthy they don't need my advice about how to eat, how to live, how to rest.
I was influenced in my early life by the Peace Corps, where I learned that you go into a community and you find out what it needs, and if you can, then you figure out a program to make that happen. You attract others to the program, and they learn what to do regarding that issue that you're all working on. And then slowly you back away until it's their program and you leave. And that's the model. Saul Alinsky taught us that. And so that's basically what Laura and I do. We want to help you intervene in your ill health, get you up to a level that you like, and help you maintain that, and then step away and see how you do on your own. And if you don't, then we're there again. You know, if you need us, we'll be here. I hope that to happen. So if you think that that's going to be a fit for you, if you'd like to do that, then we could have you sign up with Christy. Did I mention the $87 for the consultation? I missed that piece. So I've reduced the fee for that initial consultation to just $87. to try to remove an obstacle to your healing, which would be financial, just to get your foot in the door so that you can determine whether or not I can help you with this program on an individual basis. And so I'd suggest, if you'd like to try this program, that you go ahead. We're going to start the program in a couple of weeks. Well, actually, this is the beginning of the program. We start the first class in a couple of weeks.
Do you know the dates for your classes yet?
Yes,
Mhm.
and that's on that sheet of paper that Christy handed out. Maybe you'll look them up.
Near the bottom?
It
At the
just
very
says
bottom.
that there,
Number
oh,
two.
there, no, half, about a quarter of the
thank
way
you very
down is a
much.
list
Thank
of
you.
classes. And then we fit the individual sessions in amongst those on our regular schedule. Although we've created, Christine, haven't you created spaces for people that would be going through this program? So you'll all get priority.
So one other thing is interesting in that, and I just lost it. Never mind. I lost it.
So there was a piece that I just lost too. Any questions?
Yes, Nicolette.
So how do you fit in, so I've already had one session with Laura, I had scheduled a session with you, it was supposed to be for today, but this was happening, and I wasn't aware of. So where do you fit in if you've kind of already started your journey? Do you necessarily have to do this program, or are there still some rooms for individualized programs?
I'd like you to go into this program if possible, but as I
Just
illustrated.
financially, I didn't
Yeah.
set aside that, I was hoping, and if we determine on our appointments on Friday,
Oh,
what we
well,
need there, I guess I would need more information. And then how does that $87 compare to what it was originally going to be?
yeah.
Sorry, these are personal questions.
That's a really good question. I'm not sure I figured that out yet because we're transitioning from one form of healthcare to another here. So I just take each case and I talk with you about it and see, what your situation is and adjust it, basically.
I remembered what I was going to
Christine
say.
hates that when I do that.
And that is, those questionnaires are actually educational for you as well. So just by asking the questions, sometimes you can think about what you need to do, or what you have done that you maybe shouldn't do, or various things, or things you need to pay more attention to. So asking the right questions is sometimes at least half of the journey to get you to focus on something that needs to change.
Other questions?
Can you see a beamer? I'm confused on what
yeah.
this beamer is.
It's a mat.
It's a mat, sorry. It's a mat that we
We have
each
one
have in
out
our
in
beds.
the,
We have one in the treatment room. There's usually one in here on a lounge chair, and there's another one.
There's one in the hallway there that.
What does it do?
What are the physics of this beamer?
There's a patented signal. It's got 5 international patents. It's in 87 countries already. The USA was a little bit late in getting it introduced here, so it's not very well known here.
Is it electric or electromagnetic?
Yes, it's electromagnetic. So the patented
Specific wavelengths.
wave is what Dr. Klopp has been adjusting over the last 15 years or so. And that's carried on an electromagnetic wave, so that's the carrier. So people who have problems with EMF may not be able to use it. People who have problems with detoxing too fast may not be able to use it. And then NAET very often can bring that back as a tool that you can use because it's an energy incompatibility.
But what does it do? What does
What does
beamer?
it do?
It opens the vascular.
Yes, it also changes the white blood cell behavior in the vessels so that white blood cells can find their little protein markers on the inside of the vessel walls and then slip through the wall. I've got a video of that. Oh my gosh. That's my most exciting. That's what sold me on the beamer was that one video, a little short, 30
Because when the white blood cells can get to their targets, they can deal with them. But if they can't get there, that's a problem too.
We should tell the story of your cat.
Okay, and Jane, do you want to add to that?
Yes, I have a little clinic in my little garage. It's wonderful. And so I have people come in, and I have seen enormous stuff happen to people. Just, they find themselves very relaxed, or if they've been nervous, they come down from the nervousness. And it really does different things to different people. I can't say enough about how different it affects different people, but it's really, and that video is an amazing video to watch. And
When you improve circulation, you improve everything.
yeah, it's just amazing. So, and I've been here as an intern. I love that. And so I've been able to see more people than usual on the Beamer, and every time it really helps people. Not sometimes right away, but over time. And they have the Beamer water too. I see you have some Beamer water up there. And so that works through all of the cells in the water, and you drink it, and it helps your own cellular makeup. So it's an amazing, yeah.
And for those who want to see that video, I'm going to be giving a talk about circulation. Qi, blood, and lymph is the talk. And I don't know, I haven't set a time yet for that, but it's coming up in a month or two. And Christine will let you know through emails, or we're going to put emails into a newsletter, switch over to MailChimp. I don't know when that, and there's Rose nodding her head, so I don't know when that's going to be, but sometime.
Already started.
Oh, yeah,
First
all
one,
right.
yeah.
And so you'll be receiving, if you'd like to, receiving newsletters from us, and we'll tell you when those other talks are coming. And then I can give you, I don't know, there are 4, 5, 6 of these little videos. They're all exquisite and wonderful, but the one about the white blood cells really.
You know, the thing that I love about this program is it feels like I can get individual care based on what I need, but held within collective support and learning. And for me, it gets really lonely, and I feel uninspired when I'm just fighting all those things alone. But when I know that I'm part of a group trying to all get better together, and we are meeting in groups and other support groups, going out to the farmers market together, it just feels like we're doing it all together to get better,
You call me, all right?
Okay, we'll call. We'll have set up buddy systems.
That's right.
Yeah. So other questions? Or comments? More comments?
Question, so there's the initial consult with you. At what point do you need the blood tests, and when do you analyze that?
Well, we do it on the first, let's see, on that first exam with me, then if I determine that you might have brought in some paperwork already and it might be adequate to see. So if it's not giving me what I need to see, then I'll have Christy order blood test with the 4 panels. And then the analysis.
It's within the
Yeah,
first
it's
few
within the
weeks.
first.
But it's
couple
not
weeks.
necessarily before we see you for that
No.
initial consult?
No. And then we do, on the second time we meet together, which would be about a month later, I'll do a functional blood analysis for you and tell you what that's all about. And that gives us a larger picture from an allopathic and functional medicine perspective, and more than what we'll have done.
What most
with
people
the
don't
history and
realize
exam and
Is
symptoms.
a blood analysis can actually tell us what nutrients you're deficient in.
What is a blood analysis?
Good
Well,
question.
there's a couple of them. There's the complete blood count, which is the number of red blood cells, the number of white blood cells, the different types of white blood cells, platelets, and that sort of thing. And then there's a blood chemistry, so that's looking at the minerals and the proteins, primarily, and sugar in the blood. So the ranges and the patterns of those are very, I cannot use the word diagnostic because I'm not a diagnostician, but they're very telling in what nutrients may not be getting to the body, whether there's good digestion can also show up in those patterns and in
So
those
this
levels.
is your interpretation of the Western blood test?
Yes.
That you look at it with
Oh,
different
yes.
eyes than Dr.
Yes, we look
Okay.
at it from
Thank you.
optimal focus and functional focus. So the functional analysis is going to say, are you digesting your proteins? Do you have enough stomach acid? Is your pancreas working? Are you getting enough minerals? You know, these are the different kinds of things we're going to be asking, and so that's going to help tell us.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that blood test you expect orderable through Kaiser for those of us who have that?
Sorry. 27 years of trying to get Kaiser to do this, it just doesn't.
We're asking.
You know,
So you're saying we can't get anything like that done outside of this? That
No,
type
you
of test?
can. You can, if you have a medical doctor who, or someone else who can order blood work, they're welcome to do this. This is through Principal Labs, Co-op, is that,
It's-
no, that's not the Co-op.
Yeah,
that's
it's
a-
the same blood
it's a-
test, but most doctors are not gonna ask for as many things as we need.
Right, so if you order a blood test, we go out to some place and they go, okay, this is blah, 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 and they do it, correct?
Yeah, they'll draw the blood.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
got it.
LabCorp draw station.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just that you're saying that, because when my doctor does this, you can see all these different panels, are you saying
Right.
that's not even on that sheet, or is
Well,
it?
they're on the sheet, they just rarely, insurance won't pay for them and they rarely order them.
Yes.
So that,
that's
for instance,
key.
the chemical metabolism, the chemical blood chemistry, some doctors only order like 5 to 7 of the 25 things that are possible. So, because insurance will pay for, 5 to 7 of them.
So if you go into your doctor and say, I'm doing self-pay, I want, they're
If
going,
you're
sure, fine, let's get
some
on
some
fine."
doctors will and some won't, because insurance companies ding them for care that is excessive, even if insurance is not paying for it. So that it's called standard of care.
Right,
Right.
So they get evaluated by their AMA and other groups saying, well, you're doing way too much and people are, getting well and they can't have that. But, no, it's just they have to stay within their standard of
right.
care.
I'm a member of Kaiser and I routinely go to another doctor and self-pay to get what I need.
Yes.
Yeah, so
That's
that
the
would
key.
probably
I mean,
So it's just like,
so
okay,
many of us do
yeah,
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like,
I have insurance, but they haven't paid for anything I've ever used.
that's right, absolutely, it's
Well,
kind of
LabCorp is
catastrophic,
really
really.
expensive.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a big
the
catastrophic,
professional
that's it.
co-op that we go through is a little less expensive.
Okay, because I get dinged by LabCorp, some of their tests
Yeah.
are like thousands
Oh,
of
yeah.
dollars.
But these tests are included in the program,
Yeah,
right?
it's included
Okay,
in
so
the
it's not
program.
separate, it's
Yeah,
part
this
of
is
the
not
whole thing.
separate.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why it is
That's
$3,000,
why
you
it's so
know?
expensive.
Okay,
It's
now I
including a
understand.
lot of these tests.
Oh, that makes a big difference.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not additional. The only additional is the $87 initial consultation. Are you ready for this? So I think of it as a readiness evaluation.
Yeah.
Joan doesn't call it that, but I call it a readiness evaluation. Are you ready to do this? Is your body gonna do this and help, is it gonna be helping you or is it gonna be slowing you down? And what do we need to do to make you ready first?
That's very nice of you, because you could just take us without checking.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be as effective.
Right.
But that's what
We
other
wanna be
doctors
a-
would do.
we
It's
wanna
like,
be
ah,
effective."
come on in.
And the other thing is there are only really, we've decided 8 people for this program. So,
We've 8 slots.
8 slots, yeah. And then we'll start it again in 3 months. We'll do it again. So,
Even if you don't want it now,
yeah, you can
Save
come
money.
back and
Is this,
yeah.
is this the pilot program? Is this the first one?
no, we've done it
No,
before.
done it twice
Done it before,
before,
okay.
yeah. And I'm just so pleased that the 6 people who went through those 2 programs are all really happy with the results.
Is there anyone here who
This
has
is my
gone
time.
through? Okay, yes.
This is my time.
You
Do
have,
you need me to-
yes, please.
So, most definitely, I have been here for 10 years. I have worked closely with both of these people for 10 years. And I have had a great deal of changes and improvements. And I can say that trying this program with Joan changed, and I heard her speak to this, and it was quite unexpected for me and quite really delightful. I had for 15 or 20 years, I have been in what's called Syndrome X. It's a pre-diabetic stage that I consistently have been moving into and trying to avoid this end of the road for me. And I kind of just subliminally worked on it. I did this program in 3 months. All of the things that I have been doing with her, we compressed into 3 months program and we did them one on top of the other. That was in October, was the first run for me last year. I have no problems with blood sugar
Wow.
metabolism at all.
Oh
They
my God.
disappeared. I am no longer in a diabetic phase, and we are really working on different levels of things for me. A lot of other benefits happened. I'm more calm. I can focus. I still have my daily challenges, and we talk about them when I can talk about them. I was really impressed with the level of focus that changed everything at one time so everything in my body could coordinate, as in taking a step. There's a lot of work to taking a step. And each step that we took in 3 months brought me to a dramatically different place. I'm a different person altogether. I'm also slimmer. I also have longer hair. I'm also going through a challenge of my life I never expected. And I have the strength to deal with it and cope with it. So in the midst of coming here and never expecting, I came here for a job. And I have been blessed by the universe. And I never expected for some of the trials that will occur are happening for me now. And I thought it would kill me. And I am smiling today. And there's nothing to say beyond that. I'm stunned, and I'm very pleased to be able to do what I've wanted to do in my job. And I take that outside. And I am still working on establishing some lifestyle things. The group of us that went together still talk and discuss things. And that's part of the program too, is to design to build a support network amongst your peers, us, other leaders and support people that you have. Really integrate this into your life. It's just been something. Good luck. Have fun.
Thank
People
you.
still talk to you? No, I'm
They don't talk to you, huh?
That really surprised me too. As a clinician for 27 years, I didn't know how to get things better, but I trusted functional medicine really to put it together in groups. And that's what you said, you put them all on top of each other in a 3-month little place. Different things happen. Really good things happen when you're working on everything at once. Or not everything, but just this little bailiwick
Step
there.
by step.
And get those steps in place and then move on. And thank you, Christy, that was beautiful. Any other questions?
There's one.
Hi.
May I ask how much time a day it took you to make those changes with the group support?
How much time of day?
Yes.
I have dramatically changed my relationship to my kitchen. I do take a lot of time to explore food and explore different locations so that I can find foods that I like. So I've changed the perspective of how I live my lifestyle. I'm really trying to now work with integrating more time for myself to calm myself and to physically support myself with exercise. So in this experiment that I have called life, I'm going through different methods and trying to find one that I really enjoy that's gonna, take me to the end of my life. So that's the fun part of it, is experimenting. Per day, it's hard to say. I'd really have to say maybe a couple hours a day to really, make time to find those things, to
It's planning.
procure them,
It's about
and
planning.
then actually prepare a meal and save things for the next day. So working that, really integrating the
All
lifestyle takes some time.
of us want our moms to just provide food in front of us when we're hungry, but unfortunately, that's not gonna happen anymore for a lot of us.
Yeah.
So, we just have to realize that we have to plan and we have to organize and make it as efficient as we possibly can, but also make sure we have those regular meals and that our blood sugar stays stable and all those things work out together. Because the other thing about blood sugar is if your blood sugar's out of whack, your brain is not working. So the ability to plan, the ability to organize is difficult at best.
Thank you.
But we hope you all enjoyed this and have been encouraged, if not with our program, then in some way to follow your own health path and make sure that you can optimize your wellness and find the way that works best for you. But this is an opportunity, I think, for you to really optimize the plans that you may have already had but can't quite implement. So it's a good impetus to start today, start soon. Thank you.
New year.
Back off with you.